Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another show. This is The Conversation, and we're excited about our day today. I'm sitting here. Let's see what I got. Let's do a roll call. I got my tea. I got tissue paper everywhere, my red rock. I'm all set to do battle. We're going to do the show in spite of a nasty little winter cold. And, by the way, if you have some remedies you'd like to call in and give me that may be a bit non-traditional, I'm up for anything at this point. So be sure to dial on in. And as usual, my comrade in battle is Miss Kimberly Morrison. Welcome. Hello, Kimmy.
Hello. How are you today? Other than your cold, how are you doing?
Well, we've got a fantastic show today. I'm excited about it. I know,
so am I.
So many people are faced with this. So today we're going to bring on Miss Brandi Mitchell, who's the author of Blended Family Survival Guide, a fantastic new book that's out. Brandi is an entrepreneur. She owns her own company, Brandi Mitchell's Image Consulting, and now officially is an author of the best-selling book, Blended Family Survival Guide. Welcome, Brandi Mitchell, to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Clark. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi, Brandi. I'm doing well. How are you today?
Very, very good. Excited.
Good. Great. Yeah, we're excited to have you on as well. And one thing I want everyone to know, because when we deal with the subject that we always deal with, which is survive the next 365, I want everybody to understand and realize that you have a hot career on your own. You didn't write this book to make a buck. You wrote it because it was a subject that was dear to you and near to you, and you wanted everyone to sort of benefit from your expertise. Is that an accurate statement?
Oh, absolutely. I've tried to live by this mantra all my life, like don't do anything that you don't thoroughly enjoy doing or doesn't have a cause behind it. And this book literally came, I'll never forget the day that we came up with the concept of it. It was literally me and my husband and some really good friends of ours that were all literally going through the same thing at one time in terms of some not being able to see our children. And at that moment, we said, oh, my goodness, there absolutely needs to be a guide on this because so many people experience it. But a lot of times people don't understand that their actions have long-term repercussions because when you're kind of thinking about yourself or you're functioning from a portion of your life where you've been really hurt, sometimes you can stay within yourself, not understanding that everything that you do, it has repercussions. There are things associated with it. And so when we came up with the concept of the book, the whole goal of it was not to be on any one person's side, but to literally be the third person in the room of a lot of households that would kind of be the voice of reason that I like it how a good friend of mine put it. He said, Brandi, this book has been my written conscience. It's been the thing that, been the thing that, oh my God, I could hear that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It was a constant reminder, putting me back on point. And so that was the whole goal of writing the book to create conversation amongst people and at the end create better parent-to-parent relationships. The children are more secure, and marriages are surviving. Because the one thing about blended families is that a lot of times you can you can meet the person that you really want to spend the rest of your lives with. When you bring in, really honestly, a portion of the past mended with the future, it's kind of like that's challenging. And if we don't take steps to really kind of prepare for it prior to and look at it realistically, I think that it sets a lot of people up for not succeeding in their relationships and in their marriages.
Brandi, listen, I've known you for a long time. Here's what I wanted to really ask you is what type of research went into this book?
Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, it's so funny because when people talk to me about this subject, like, oh my gosh, you're so passionate about it. I'm like, okay, it's my life, first of all. I've lived it for several years. And my husband and I, when we first started, even when we were in the engagement process, we seemed to be the people that married couples would always come to us. And it's ironic because my degree is in psychology, and when I was in college, I veered off into the beauty industry, but I was still always actively really in touch with being able to help people in that arena. So, of course, the psychology background, my own personal lives experiences. I polled a lot of people that were men, women, even teenagers, to find out what they were feeling. And then, of course, I did extensive research. This book has been a 4-year project. This is a 4-year project. And my goal at the end of it was for it to be a resource tool for people in the journey, people who are making decisions in their lives, and then people who are kind of at their wits' end. So it was very extensive, and it was something that the interesting thing about it, and one thing about writing a book, which I'm sure, Clark, you completely agree with this, is that this book was supposed to come out a few years ago, and the interesting twist was that my stepson came to live with us when he was 14 years old. That was about 2 years ago. And prior to that, he lived in Michigan, and we would see him every other weekend and half of the summer. So when he came into, really becoming a teenager, he came to live with us, and that added another dynamic to this book. Because not only were we seeing him every other weekend, but now it was a huge adjustment. I went from having a son that was in the second grade to having to relate to a high schooler. Huge jump. And big difference. So my son was, of course, like overjoyed. He absolutely loves his brothers. He was just thought, his prayers were answered. But I say all that I say all that to say that, the book became complete when he came to live with us, because it gave another perspective. Again, lived out some things that, you learn from, your mistakes, as well as successfully handling situations too. So that was another layer. And so that's why I really believe that it took the amount of time that it did for the book to actually come into its completion.